Okay, welcome everyone to this webinar titled U.S. EPA Safer Choice Label, Retailer and Supplier Perspective. We have three excellent speakers today who will be sharing with you their perspectives. Bridget Williams from Safer Choice Outreach Lead at U.S. EPA, Taylor Nations, a chemist at Earth Friendly Products, and Ashley C. Hall, Senior Manager of Sustainability at Walmart Stores Incorporated. This is from the first webinar of a webinar series of Safer Choice that we'll be doing, marketed to different audiences, and we hope that you enjoy. And it's a program that we really support. Safer Choice is an EPA program, which Bridget will be telling you about, but we really like to promote the program so that people are aware of safer choices in a number of different product lines, and it helps us with our communication advancement of green chemistry and safer alternatives. So with that, I'd like to introduce Bridget Williams.
Thank you, Saskia, and thank you to Washington State Department of Ecology for hosting this webinar. So I'm going to kick things off and give you some background about the Safer Choice program, and then we'll pass it off to Taylor and Ashley to talk about their perspectives with working with the Safer Choice program. Here's just an outline of what I'm going to quickly cover since I only have 15 minutes, and I promise I will stick to that. Safer Choice is a voluntary program. We work with industry leaders to recognize safer products. Basically, product manufacturers come to us with products and formulas they have innovated and developed new chemistries and created some unique formulas, and we have the opportunity to recognize those that are leadership in the marketplace. So what does the Safer Choice label mean? Well, up until 2015, Safer Choice was known as Design for the Environment. We launched the new label, Safer Choice, in early 2015, and the nice thing about this label is it really speaks for itself. So you have the name Safer Choice, meets U.S. EPA Safer Product Standards, and then a URL where customers and purchasers can go to find out more information about the program. And simply, if someone sees this label on a product, they know that the product is safer for families, pets, the environment, their communities, their workers, and also what is very important to know is that in addition to meeting our human health and environmental criteria, products also have to perform. So that's another key message from the Safer Choice label. The Safer Choice label is actually a family of labels. You'll see the three labels here on this slide. The label on the far left is our primary label. So this label is used in retail settings. You'll see this label more often than not on store shelves. The one in the middle is an optional label for what we call industrial and institutional. The middle logo is for facility use. So these are products that would be, you'll find it on products for use in places like hospitals and hotels and schools, basically facilities. And then the third label is the Safer Choice fragrance-free label. And this is the only verification of a fragrance-free claim on the market. So where can you find a list of Safer Choice certified products? At this URL. So epa.gov/saferchoice/products. Currently, we certify more than 2,000 products. Majority are in that institutional space. However, we're seeing a growing number of products in the retail space, and we're at probably, I would say, more than 700 now, and that's increasing. This is a list of just a sample list of the product categories where Safer Choice certifies products. You'll see household and facility cleaning products, so typical things like all-purpose cleaners and bathroom cleaners, also laundry detergents. We do certify hand soaps, and we also certify products in the outdoor space, so car cleaners and boat cleaners. This is just a quick snapshot of the Safer Choice product search page. In the middle of the page, there's a green box, and you can enter a product name, or you can choose the product category type from a pull-down menu. You also have the option to choose fragrance-free products or products for use outdoors. And something to note here, don't hit enter. As soon as you start to type in, it automatically starts to populate your search. So what's behind the label? The Safer Choice label is basically products with the Safer Choice label have met the Safer Choice standard. And the standard requires that every product, all chemicals in that product must meet our human health and environmental criteria. So this is every chemical regardless of percentage. And that's not just the chemicals from the product manufacturer that the product manufacturer is aware of, but also up the supply chain. So we're reviewing all fragrance chemicals, all additives and additional chemicals like co-solvents and other ingredients up the supply chain. So not just one supplier, but maybe two or three. We also have requirements for performance that I mentioned. That's very important. We want to make sure that the Safer Choice label is on products that work. And also we have requirements for packaging and ingredient disclosure. When we work with the product manufacturer enters into an agreement with EPA for certified products that's good for 3 years. And during that period, we audit the products each year. And if you're interested in what's behind the standard, you can go to this link at on the slide, and that'll take you to the standard page with all of our criteria. So I wanted to make sure that you had a sense of how comprehensive a Safer Choice review is. And here is a snapshot of the human health effects and also the environmental fate and toxicity effects that we review every chemical for. So we're looking at both acute effects but also chronic effects. And just want to point out here that Safer Choice and EPA has another resource that may be helpful to you. It's called our Safer Chemical Ingredients List. It's a living list. We are constantly adding chemicals to it. And these are chemicals that meet our Safer Choice criteria. So you'll find surfactants and solvents, chelants, and we organize them by those functional class. So if you're a product manufacturer, this makes it super easy for you to look up a chemical and see whether or not it meets Safer Choice criteria. It is not a comprehensive list. It's a living list, and we're adding chemicals to it. So just because the chemical is not on the list does not mean it doesn't meet our criteria. And so now I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, and I want to talk to you about the reception of the Safer Choice label and what we're hearing about it. We did launch it in March of 2015, and right after we launched it, we started getting some very positive feedback. So you'll see here a picture of a Consumer Reports article. They came out right away and said why they liked it. That was in May of 2015. Also, many of our partners have conducted surveys, and just want to mention that a leading retailer conducted a survey in 2015 and found that majority of consumers would try a product with this label. EPA has conducted our own survey to gauge consumer awareness of the label, and here are just some of the results from 2016. What we found is a majority of consumers say that they're familiar with the program, and actually then when we ask if they've seen the Safer Choice label on store shelves, about a third of them say yes. And even more remarkable, when we asked whether or not they would use the Safer Choice label to inform their purchasing decisions, 76% said yes, and that number increased when we looked at the demographics for parents and millennials to 83% and 86%. So some of the benefits of Safer Choice certification that we see is when customers are choosing the Safer Choice label on a product because of the Safer Choice label or not, they're actually helping to increase innovation in the chemical marketplace. So this builds demand for new, greener, safer chemicals, and that goes up the supply chain to chemical manufacturers. The Safer Choice label, when you see it on a product, you know that that product has been reviewed by EPA, and it's leveraging EPA's scientific expertise. And the great thing about the Safer Choice program is we go beyond lists of problematic chemicals. So we're not just focusing on those chemicals that some may want to avoid, but we're really focusing on which chemicals are truly safer. And then additionally, the ingredient disclosure, customers get transparency from our ingredient disclosure policy, and that fragrance-free certification is the first of its kind. So this is just a quick snapshot of how the Safer Choice program works with retailers and distributors. There's really three main ways, although there are numerous other ways we can collaborate and enter into partnerships, but here's just a couple. So the first is retailers and distributors can offer Safer Choice certified products to their customers and purchasers. Stocking them on store shelves or including them in your catalogs is a quick way. Also using the products in your operations, so in your facilities and warehouses, bathrooms is a second way. And then incorporating Safer Choice into your sustainability plans is another great way to partner with Safer Choice. And last, I just want to mention some quick steps. The first bullet here is education. So this program could benefit from everyone getting out and sharing information about the Safer Choice program and what that Safer Choice label means. And if you're on social media, make sure to use the hashtag EPA Safer Choice. We have a Twitter feed on our homepage, and if you use that hashtag, it'll show up on our Safer Choice site. So, and if you have any questions, I'll answer some at the end, and then you can always contact me.
Excellent. Thank you, Bridget, very much. And now we have Taylor Nations, the Chemist of Earth-Friendly Products. Taylor?
Hi, thank you, Saskia. Yes, I'm Taylor Nations, the Chemist with Earth-Friendly Products. And I was asked to join you guys today to talk about what it's like as a product manufacturer working with the Safer Choice program. A brief introduction to our company. Earth-Friendly Products is a manufacturer of over 100 naturally derived cleaning products, and those include both industrial and institutional as well as household consumer cleaning products. And we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary this year, so we've been at this quite a while, and we've achieved what we call a trifecta of sustainability, and that's Platinum Zero Waste Manufacturing Certification, as well as a carbon neutral and water neutral manufacture process, and that's achieved at all 4 of our facilities around the country, including our facility here in Lacey, Washington. So as you might be able to tell from that, product safety and sustainability are really important to our company, which is why we've chosen to partner with the EPA Safer Choice program. So why Safer Choice? Consumers are looking more and more for third-party certifications when they're making purchase choices for their family. But as we all know, there are many certifications out there, so the question is why Safer Choice? The EPA has a history of successful consumer advocacy programs, such as the Energy Star program that we're all familiar with. In fact, studies have shown that over 71% of consumers are looking for that Energy Star logo when they're making purchases. So it's clear that the EPA is a name that consumers trust. And we firmly believe that the loyalty given to that Energy Star program will be adopted by consumers who are going to look for the Safer Choice logo when making chemical cleaning product purchases. It's also a government-funded program, and that just gives it more consumer trust, and there's less opportunity for conflict of interest, versus a private nonprofit or for-profit certification. We also find that the program really aligns with new consumer behaviors. Originally, the word green meant, environmentally friendly, and was very focused on what's good for the planet. And while that's still, a huge part of the Safer Choice program, we're finding now that the word green is more synonymous with good for me and my family, or with making healthy lifestyle choices. And it's very clear that the EPA recognized that change in consumer perception with its migration from the Design for the Environment program to the Safer Choice program. And along with that name change came the new logo with the family and the home, and that really conveys the message that the products showcasing that logo are going to be safe for the family, as Bridget kind of touched on earlier. So aligning with the, working towards new consumer behaviors, the Safer Choice we found is really good for business. I mean, it's clear that we're, as a company, really invested in this company by the fact that we have more products certified than any other manufacturer right now, and we're currently in the process of certifying more. We've actually been awarded the Safer Choice Partner of the Year twice, and that was in 2015 and again in 2017. So we really like the fact that consumers are able to pick up our product, see the logo, and recognize the fact that the product's not only going to perform, but it's a product that's going to be safe to bring into their homes, and it's a product with low environmental impact as compared to some more conventional products. We also like the fact that it gives us an opportunity to showcase our voluntary leadership in sustainable product manufacturing, and it's something that we can use as a key selling point both to retailers and consumers. So a few points, more points on Safer Choice versus some other green certifications. One that I think is really important is that Safer Choice takes a hazard-based approach to product evaluation versus a risk-based approach, which is what the majority of green certifications out there are going to take. And using a risk-based approach takes into account the risk of the product when used as directed. And as we know, unfortunately, many chemical products are misused, especially by young children. And by evaluating these products from a chemical hazard perspective, we're alleviating much of the potential harm that could come from product misuse as well. It also reduces the overall manufacturing volume of chemicals that wouldn't meet program standards for either environmental or human health concerns. We also found that a lot of major retailers are starting to get excited about the program and recognize the program, both by coming to us and asking to manufacture private label certified offerings for them, or just by seeing their own branded products on the shelf. So it's not something that you can achieve on your own. Safer Choice certification, it takes a lot of teamwork between different partners, which we have called our ecosystem of partnerships. You'll see earth-friendly products here, as a manufacturer. Although all partners in the ecosystem play their own role in promoting green chemistry and sustainable products. It's our role to work with our raw material suppliers and with the Safer Choice team directly to develop products that would meet program standards. We also work with our retailers in promoting the program, educating them about the program, as well as, selling our products to them, and also responding to requests for certified products that they might give us. But the role of the retailer is crucial in this ecosystem, as they're the primary partner in this that's going to be dealing with the consumers directly. So it's really important, we think, that retailers promote green chemistry and sustainable products by making concerted efforts to purchase safer choice products, and also just promote the program within their stores. So lastly, I think Bridget kind of touched on a lot of this, but how does the product certification process work? Well, we found here that it's easiest to formulate 2 safer choice standards from the start, rather than trying to take an existing formulation and tweak it to meet program standards. If any of you are out there on the formulating side of things, you might know that it's really difficult just to sub one chemical out for another and keep the properties of your product the same. So it's typically easiest just to start from scratch, and the Safer Choice team is great on giving you, by the time you apply for certification, you should already know if your product is going to pass or not. So they're very helpful in making those decisions early on. But there are some challenges related to formulating green products in general. I don't know that this is specific to the Safer Choice program, but in terms of efficacy with green chemistry, it's been kind of an uphill battle, but we're finding that this is less and less of an issue every year as the green chemistry field in general is expanding, and there are new chemistries available at a cost-effective price, which is really important to especially a value brand like Ecos. But once you have developed a formula that you think is going to pass program standards, you're going to work with a third-party product profiler who will do all the evaluations and then report back to the Safer Choice team, who does a review and will request any data gaps, or if they have any questions, they'll come back to you. But that third-party product profiler is going to look at the composition of your formulation. So what raw materials are you using, at what concentration? And then they're going to go a step further, as Bridget kind of touched on, and work with our raw material suppliers to see exactly what's going into making that raw material. So that's information that as a product manufacturer we likely aren't going to have. So it's important that our raw material suppliers are on board. Going back to that ecosystem of partnerships, our raw materials suppliers have to be on board and willing to supply the Safer Choice team with the information they need to make a decision on that raw material. So we've had some challenges along the way with raw material suppliers who weren't on board with the program. We're finding that as awareness of the program grows, this is less and less of an issue. And in the same way that there are safety and sustainability requirements with our raw materials, there are also safety and sustainability requirements related to packaging. So that could be, the presence of heavy metals or a minimum post-consumer recycled content. And our packaging suppliers would again need to work with a Safer Choice team in order for us to use their packaging in a registered product. Labeling requirements, which would include a full ingredient disclosure, along with CAS numbers that our customers would have access to. And it's also important that you are keeping records of the entire manufacture process, and that's because these certifications, or the products that are certified, they do undergo an audit regularly, and then that includes basically an independent auditor to come out to your facility and actually check your purchasing records, check your batch tickets, look at your product labels, and make sure that everything that you registered with the Safer Choice team is actually what's in practice. So that also means that anytime we're making an edit to a formula or changing raw material suppliers, those changes also need to be checked with the Safer Choice team. So, definitely isn't easy, but that's kind of why we find so much value in this certification, because if it were easy to achieve, everyone would be doing it. So although product certification isn't easy, and it does require regular maintenance. We found it really worth the effort, not only in the value it adds to our brand, but also the standards it makes us hold ourselves to. So we really believe in the work that the Safer Choice team is doing, and we'll definitely continue to support the program through our partnership.
Now we have Ashley C. Hall, the Senior Manager of Sustainability from Walmart. Ashley?
Really appreciate being able to participate and join you all in the webinar today. I thought it would be helpful to start with a quote from Walmart's CEO and President, Doug McMillon, because I think what he says really sets the tone of how Walmart looks at our sustainability initiatives, which includes sustainable chemistry. Doug says, when we get it right, customers are able to shop at ease, knowing we did the work for them. They know that the products on our shelves and website were produced at a low true cost for all, not just in terms of being the best value, but in terms of whether they enhance the environment and the lives of all the people who helped produce them. And again, I thought I'd just start with that note because Walmart's been working on sustainability since 2005. And last fall, Doug announced a set of new commitments around sustainability that go above and beyond our first three original goals. First, to have zero waste in our operations. Now we work to have zero waste, broadly, both in our operations, but also working with our supply chain and our consumers. We've had an original goal to have 100% renewable energy, and now we're making a progress towards, by 2025, having 50% of our operations powered by renewable energy. And lastly, one of our original goals was to sell products that sustain resources in the environment. And this is really where our sustainable chemistry policy plays. And it's within our providing affordable, safe, and healthier food and products. So when we talk about safer, sustainable chemistry at Walmart, we're really talking about three different things. First, as a retailer, we want to build trust. We want to have that connection with our customers, and we want them to feel good about the products that they're purchasing. Second, we want to deliver impact. We want to help shape and transform the systems when it comes to the types of ingredients that are used in the products that we sell. And third, we want to stay ahead of regulation. We want to work to help continue to be a leader in this space and not just to work on what is required by law or regulatory compliance. And so we launched our first sustainable chemistry policy in 2013. And you can see here that the different areas that focused on, there's three pillars. The first is around providing transparency of ingredients to our customers. The second is advancing safer formulation of the products through informed substitution principles. And the third pillar is safer choice in private brands. Now, originally, when we came out with our policy, it was designed for the environment, so we've updated our policy to reflect that. But as is consistent with all of Walmart's work, we really work to provide the commitment for everyday low cost for our customers, as well as that performance aspect. Our chemicals policy works on formulated consumable products, so liquids, putties, pastes, and gels, in our beauty, baby, personal care, household cleaning, pet areas of our business. And we've made a lot of progress since 2013. We measure and track progress on our transparency initiative through the Sustainability Index, which is our annual voluntary survey, and we found that 50% of suppliers are providing ingredient information online. Starting in 2018, we're asking our suppliers to also begin listing information on package. We've also, for our second pillar, worked to reduce chemicals of concern with a 96% reduction by weight of what we call high priority chemicals. Those are chemicals that are found on regulatory and authoritative lists. They are part of a broader list of priority chemicals that Walmart has. And we worked with key suppliers who use those ingredients to ask them what they were doing to reformulate and improve their formulation. Additionally, we've talked about getting ahead of regulation. And for safer choice, We love Safer Choice. We see it as the gold standard when it comes to helping our customers understand what best-in-class looks like for a formulated consumable product. As I'm sure many of you know, it's not just about getting out of, the chemicals of concern. It's about looking at the informed substitution, the best-in-class ingredients. The Safer Chemical Ingredient List focuses on what are the best types of chemicals to use for certain types of applications or functions, and we think that that is great work. And when, in certain instances, there are ingredients that innovation is required, Walmart helps participate in broad stakeholder initiatives to help drive those green chemistry innovations. So just this morning, Walmart announced that it is strengthening its sustainable chemistry commitment. As you can see, we are continuing with our 3 main pillars of work. Increasing transparency, we're continuing the work for on-pack disclosure of priority chemicals. For safer formulation, working to reduce our overall use of priority chemicals by 10%. We will be the first U.S. retailer to set time-bound reduction of the goal. And what we're calling advanced assortment, where we continue to delight customers with new, safer products that customers feel good about. We continue to heavily support the Safer Choice label. And in fact, we know that there are more products that are in the pipeline that will be coming out to delight our customers with Safer Choice labels on them. We have expanded our list of certifications for those companies and products that are outside of the scope of Safer Choice. So in our areas like beauty products or baby products. But do not be fooled. That does not mean that we do not fully support the Safer Choice certification. We think it is the gold star in terms of certifications. We are proud to work with the EPA, and starting in 2019, we will begin to report progress against how suppliers are using certifications, both from a number of UPCs as well as a number of suppliers and who are using certifications. We think this is important because what you don't measure, you can't manage. And so we think measurement is a key portion of our work as a retailer to help hold accountability to ourselves as well as to push and encourage our suppliers to do more. Finally, I'll end with, within our updated chemicals policy, we've announced what we call our Walmart Sustainable Chemistry Principles, and there are 5 of them. We embrace the 12 principles of green chemistry set forth by the American Chemical Society. We believe leadership is going above and beyond legal and regulatory compliance. We believe in the public disclosure of our goals and progress. We work with credible third-party organizations and leverage regulatory and authoritative resources to guide our approach. And we expect our products to meet or exceed our performance standards and deliver on our everyday low price promise. We think Safer Choice does a fantastic job at helping make it easy for our customers, the busy families out there, to quickly find products that they can feel good about. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. So now if anyone has any questions, please put them in the Q&A box. So a question for you, I think, Ashley. Before you mentioned building trust, how do you communicate that your products that are being sold are safer for the consumer?
Great question. We think that certifications are one of the best ways to communicate leadership of safer formulations and to signal to our customers what good looks like. And so you will see us continuing to work on incorporating certifications onto products that are sold at Walmart, just for that point.
Does the Safer Choice criteria get updated?
Hi, this is Bridget. I can answer that. Yes, we do update our criteria, however, not as often as people may think. And when we do update, we go through a notice and comment period. So folks can have the opportunity to weigh in on the proposed changes.
Great. Thank you. Are there functional categories, I think this is for you, Taylor, that are more challenging for formulations?
Yeah, for us that's definitely preservatives, which makes sense considering that they're present in your product to, kill living things, meaning, the microbes in those products. So it's sometimes a challenge to find those, especially as a value brand, because a lot of the more natural, safe preservatives out on the market are still, new and pretty cost prohibitive. So that's been a challenge for us. And, it seems like maybe it's a little bit more of an internal challenge we put on ourselves to kind of go above and beyond even what the program is willing to allow. But I would say that's definitely the most difficult chemical to source to meet program standards.
Thank you. I seem to be having technical difficulties with the Q&A box right now. If you can...
yeah, I have a question that came in on my side.
Thank you.
So this is Bridget, and the question is, so what sets the Safer Choice program apart from information that I can find on other third-party websites? And then the second part is the EPA program more rigorous? So I can certainly answer what we do in the Safer Choice program is we go up the supply chain, and so other sites that are offering information on products and ranking them may not have the most current or up-to-date information on those products. And so at EPA, though, we see everything, and it's in real time. We have the latest formulas. We're reviewing formulas that are on the shelf currently, and we're going, as I mentioned, up the supply chain, so we're reviewing all of the chemicals that are added in tiny amounts. So there's a stringency with our review that others may not have access to.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. My WebEx is now not responding. So if you have any questions, if you can send it to the host and the panelists, I would appreciate it. One question, Ashley, is your policy publicly available?
It is. It is available on WalmartSustainabilityHub.com. That's WalmartSustainabilityHub.com. You can find there our updated chemicals policy, as well as in the implementation guide, all of our year-to-date measurements against our commitment. We annually update that information to reflect our progress.
Excellent, thank you. So if there are any additional questions, please send to the host and the presenter. And sorry, panelists, do you see any questions, additional questions?
Yeah, I got one. Becky Berg asked, what is the full list of chemicals that are tested to not be present in order to be certified for Safer Choice? And Bridget, maybe you could answer that with the skill list. I think she's, the fact that it's a positive list rather than having the negative,
That's exactly it. It's a positive list. So Safer Choice, our focus is on safer chemistries and those safer ingredients that are out and being used in products. So basically that is our focus. We like to highlight the positive, and our goal is to help folks get away from avoiding potentially problematic chemicals to formulating with safer chemicals.
And I got another one here that says, within the Safer Choice program, is it the strive to only have natural ingredients within the formulas?
That's a good question, too. So the Safer Choice program, we are focused we're focused on the intrinsic hazards of each individual chemical ingredient. And one ingredient can actually be made from a variety of what we would call feedstocks. So it could come from petroleum, but the same chemical can come from a plant. And from our perspective, that the toxicity and the human health and environmental toxicity would be the same whether it comes from either of those feedstocks. So that's the focus of the Safer Choice program. So something could be natural and safer, but it could also be natural and not meet Safer Choice criteria.
Any other questions? So if any other questions come in, please let us know, but just wanted to let you guys know about a couple other upcoming events. Sadly, I can't advance the slide, but there's 2 more webinars on Safer Choice. One of them is EPA's Safer Choice Label, Better Options for Organizational Purchasing Programs, which is, oh yay, thanks, November 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific. And then we also have another webinar, which is what chemical manufacturers, formulators, and suppliers need to know. The date's to be determined. It would actually build off a little bit of what Taylor was talking about how you actually can become a partner in Safer Choice. And then also there's a few in-person trainings, the OSHA 7225 Transitioning to Safer Alternatives course, which will be in Seattle and Portland. The dates are available there, and you can see more information on the link provided. But this basically provides guides participants through the OSHA 7-step substitution process for understanding and evaluating chemical use, identifying, assessing alternatives, and implementing alternatives that are safer. And it provides some hands-on experience and walks you through the 7 steps. And so with that, if there's no additional questions, I really appreciate the panelists. Thank you so much for presenting, as well as also working with the technical difficulties, and really the insights and perspectives that you offered were really valuable, so thank you for that. And also for the attendees, really appreciate you attending this webinar, and if you found it useful, it will be hopefully recorded, provided the software worked, and if you can share information about the upcoming webinars, it would be appreciated. So thank you, everyone.